I might actually pay my card for this month at some point out of the tax return. That way we're not living on the margins finally.
But we needed that money for other things, I thought.
Yeah, it depends. Like, it depends on what all I need to do and everything.
Money for other things, I
thought.
thought.
So I said I may. Yeah, I am. It depends. Like...
Well, it looks like OBS is potentially going to behave.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm live, just so you know. Only, yes, Sunday when I was trying to go, it was acting really dumb, so that was the day I was having the weird net issues going on. It looks like it's fixed now. Oh, Kitty, really? I love you, but I am not the only person in this house that can pet you at this very moment. Alright, so let's do that there, and do that there. I wanted to make sure this was actually behaving before I tweeted it. It looks like it is. Okay. You come over here. Alright, so what did we have planned for today? Let me make sure. That's right. Alright. We're on the wrong server though. We need to switch servers. There we go. Alright, we did the paladin already. They've leveled up. Finished them out on Saturday. So it's gonna be the protection warrior that's up right now. And we're doing the bloodthirsty challenge here today. It's where you're grinding to max level. No, well, technically no questing, but there's a couple exceptions to the no questing rule. And that's listed on WoWchallenges.com. Excuse me, under the bloodthirsty rules. And under the rules there is a link to the quest exceptions. That is an important piece of information, so if you do plan on trying this, you definitely want to read all of that first. Bloodthirsties can wear green gear, so you will see me in green gear on most of my guys. I think I've got one that is currently not in green gear, but that will probably change later. We will see what happens. This is my prot warrior. Troll your soul. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's just point this out here. I don't understand. Like, I know it's Lunar Festival and the elders are scattered out through the lands, We're in an undead zone, basically. Okay, the elder that's in the undead zone is a dwarf. Not sure I understand that. I would have expected it to be a horde elder, to be perfectly honest, not an alliance. It just caught me off guard, and I was like, why?
I'm listening.
That's weird. But that was just me. Alright, so we're gonna head back to where I was working on this one yesterday, off of stream. Now, because it takes so long to get through a level now, I've been trying to do a lot of the legwork, so to speak, away from stream. And so that we can get through a couple more at a time during stream time. And I did take on a rare. Probably not the wisest decision, but I was curious, and I was like, I'm level 19, you know, let's see what happens. My gear's not the greatest. My gear's all over the place. I've still got some whites, I've got some grays, I've got like level 11 stuff on. So, I did kill it, as you can see, because we're still alive. Definitely scary. The screen was flashing red, and it was definitely close. And I probably will not be doing that again, because that was a little too terrifying and a lot closer than I wanted it to be. High Mountain Tauren mounts are so pretty. I love that. I'm not really an alliance person, but I think I'm gonna have to level a High Mountain Tauren, excuse me. So as you can see, we're over at Tauren Mill. This is a 10 to 60 zone. I really didn't know where to take myself at this point because I don't know. I didn't know where to go. Because I don't normally play Horde, so I got a little perturbed and I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing over here. So I was like, well, I kind of got tired of being over in Silver Pine, and yeah, you know, there's some decent grinding spots in Silver Pine, but I'm constantly having to worry about a couple of the rares that are tucked tight in over there, and I really did not want to tangle with them because Melee's been having a little bit more of a difficult time dealing with them, so I was like, I really don't want to have to worry about son of whoever, Argyle, or whatever the fuck his name is, walking around. And, I also had to worry about, one of the other rares in one of my spots where I grind. It just kind of pops up and can walk up behind you without you realizing it. So I was like, well, I really don't want to be over there anymore. At least on the melee. And especially now after I went after that turtle. And it was not pretty. So, so I came over here. And it's pretty wide open on this river behind Tauren Mill. There's some turtles, there's some spiders. You do have to be careful because there is a rare turtle, hence the rare that I went after yesterday. And it was okay. Again, probably not one of my wisest decisions, but it was okay. We won't be doing that again, though. That was too close. And let's see. But, you know, there's some yellow mobs aside from these spiders, so we got a little bit of breathing room over here. Not too many patrols that we have to worry about in this particular spot. Where are you going? Okay, you're not going after the turtle. So, I mean, you know, the main patrol that I really have to watch out for is said turtle. And said turtle is yellow, so as long as I don't hit an AoE when he's walking up, we'll be fine. Just have to give him some room, excuse me, to get by us, or, you know, just have to stand down a little bit. And, yeah, so I spent the day yesterday getting a few people ready for stream, or maybe the past couple of days. I've been working on one off and on. Hunter was taking a little bit of time. I actually moved the hunter around, which is probably why they took a little bit more time. So I wasn't happy with where I was. I was tired of being in Dragonblight, and while I was getting cloth and money, it's just I've got too many characters sitting in that one particular location. So it was kind of getting to me, so I'm like, alright, I need to bust somebody out here. Somebody needs to go and go do some wandering. So I started back over in, where the hell? I went over to, that's where the hell I went. Went over to Borean Tundra again. And, I was killing some mammoths, because, you know, there's a section where they're yellow, but then again, when you've got a hunter pet, and the hunter pet thunderclaps, they all look at you and they're like, hey, sexy, I want to eat you. And it's like, oh, no, 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 no. No, that's disastrous for the poor little turtle. Or not the turtle, the bunny that I'm running, excuse me. So I was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. So I was like, well, you know what, we're right next to Sholzar. Let's see how busy it is. Because I don't mind Sholzar. There's quite a lot to choose from to kill over there. It's just the problem ends up becoming that it gets way too busy and you can't get a kill in edgewise, or everybody's trying to get their quest done and they're tagging your mob, and then it's like, oh my god, go away. And it doesn't seem to be like there's a very secluded spot over there where you can get away with killing stuff that other people don't want. I mean, I'm sure there is in some portion, but it just got to the point where it's becoming too difficult to find. Like, I started out okay, and I guess I started at a lull over there. But then, as time was accumulating, it was getting busier and busier, and I was like, yeah, this ain't working. So, I got tired of, A, finding mobs that were just strewn everywhere dead. And then people coming up and tagging my shit, and I'm like, you know what, let's just go back to Borean. So then I hopped back over to Borean, and then I was running up and down from Winnipeg up to the airfield. But I was near the fortress side, like the edge over there, killing mammoths and worms and those big blue dudes whose name escapes me right now. Manitars or something, I don't remember. They usually hang out with the kobolds, but there's a couple spots with them up and down there. And I was killing some more of the hoppy things, the things that look like the oracles, and you know, it wasn't too terrible. But it let me move a little bit, so at least the hoppy things were counting as humanoids, so I was getting a little bit of cash off of them. I'll tell you, the theory of farming Frostweave actually was paying off from the Paladin, because I had about 3 stacks of Frostweave I sent over to my main. I made some bags, and then I sent them to my bank alt to sell. And I sold them for about like $3.25 a bag, so that wasn't so bad. And then I sold a bunch of netherweave also. That I actually managed to get like 25 gold for them. That was pretty good for netherweave on my server. They're usually around like between 7 and 12, so I was actually surprised they sold for that amount. Must have been a run on bags lately. Or too few bags and not enough sellers. But I couldn't stand being over in, Dragonblight on another character. And I'm sorry, I'm actually sitting here and I'm thinking, oh shit, I don't know if I accidentally dinged on that hunter when I was saving them for the stream. I just had this vague memory of a ding popping up and I can't remember who it popped on. Shit, I hope that didn't actually, oh. Well, if it did happen, I've got some other backups, so that's gonna drive me crazy. Because the hunter's next. We'll figure that out. Hopefully I didn't get too carried away. Just sitting here having that thought. I'm not sure now. Well, hopefully I didn't. We'll figure it out in a minute. But, I mean, normal mobs, the warrior's been doing okay. Just, I'm gonna stay away from the rares. At least at this point in time. We'll see what happens, when BFA actually drops. Or if the changes that are on alpha come in before then, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, although I don't know if they're really going to affect Bloodthirsty, I think it'll even the playing field and level it off a little bit for Iron Man. I really don't know if it's going to have that much of an effect on the Bloodthirsty, though. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've got a ways to go before we should really start worrying about it. We'll have more of an idea of what we have to work with when beta drops. But even then, you know, the builds have the potential for changing up until that point. Until it actually hits. That's a two-handed. Not exactly what I was looking for. I'd like to stay prot, so I kind of need a one-handed. And yeah, I know I'm slaughtering these poor horses, but you know what? They're not killing me. And, we found a nice open area, so okay. So that didn't take too long. We hit 20 fairly quickly. Now, if you're doing Bloodthirsty and you get the riding quest to pop up, don't forget, you cannot do it. You can still learn how to ride, but you can't do the quest. So you're gonna just go in to view the quests. You might have to hit accept in order to clear it, but then just abandon it. Really hope I don't have to go all the way back to the troll's starting area. I think I can go to Brill. Figure that out when we get there. Shit, I forgot to take my picture. Okay. We'll take it in here. I actually had to hide in here yesterday. I hearthed in. And had the crap scared out of me because when I hearthed in here, somebody was killing the innkeeper. I was like, oh shit. I was like running away. It's like, no, 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 no. Alright. So let's get our slash blade on this one. So it's gonna be Bloodthirsty. Troll your soul. And we are a prot warrior. Things level 20. Got a slash blade of 8 hours, 35 minutes, and 57 seconds. Now this one had been started before the patch, so that's probably why her time looks a little quick. And our kills are going to be pretty low. So let's see what we're at here. So 1,055. So that's not so bad. Alright, let's tweet that out. And we're going to log out on her. Now, I am running quite a few bloodthirsties here. So while I am running 13, it's gonna be quite some time before all 13 actually get higher up in the ranks. I'm not sure if I did actually ding on this one. I might have. Shit. I was busy watching something while I was playing. And, okay, no, I didn't. Okay, good. Good. That's good. Okay. I really need to go to auction house. So, you know, when I say I'm running 13, it's gonna be difficult to get them all up there right now because they range in level from, level 13 currently, I think is the lowest, up to level 78. No, I'm sorry. The Demon Hunter is 101. So, I mean, they've got a really big, leveling gap on them all. So it's gonna be some time before a lot more of them get higher up in the ranks on the list, where they're a bit more visible, shall we say. But they are all, in fact, there.
Be good.
Currently. Alright, so we're gonna fly back to Borean Tundra. Sorry, I'm still having some trouble with my voice. It's doing better than it was, though. So, we've got that going for us currently. Alright, so while I'm in flight there, I'm gonna hop over to WoW Challenges. And I'm just gonna update my warrior here super quick. And I just saw something that just confused the shit out of me. I thought Mark posted that he hit 80 on his warrior on Twitter, and I was a little confused because I thought the last time I had seen him he was 78. But the website says he's 79. I think, okay, he is 80. The website just hadn't updated yet. Okay. I was like, what is going on? But no, that's all good. Okay, so that's all better there. The website just didn't run its job to force update everybody just yet. So we're not doing half bad. Oh, he changed the symbol. Okay. I know Stone had talked about changing the symbol for new challengers since the Bloodthirsty rule update. And anybody on the new rules would have the question mark, or they did have an exclamation point. There had been talk of changing it to a question mark, but he had not yet the last time I looked, but it looks like it is now a question mark. So don't panic if you see that next to your name. It's going to take you to the same place that the exclamation point did. It's just going to take you to your allowed quests page. That's all that's about. So you're not flagged unless your flag color is changed. It's just taking you to your quest page where it's tracking the quests that you've done, and your biggest worry is going to be quests that are not allowed, because you can only do 4 not allowed quests. But like your account wides fall under words and things. Your account wides are gonna fall under allowed. So a lot of legwork was done to try to make that as less confusing as possible. So don't worry so much about the quests that you have on a brand new character that you've just logged into at level 1. Those are going to be your account wides before you've done anything. Yeah, those dudes. The magmuths. Those are the blue guys I was talking about, or something similar. But, yeah. So, the account wides you really don't have to worry about. It's just, you can't do any quests after, I mean, physically, you can't do any quests unless you fall into the exceptions. Which is why I'm saying you need to make sure you read those rules, the quest allowed page, and the FAQ before you get started. Because it may save you some heartache in the end. You really don't want to be flagged for something ridiculous that you could have avoided had you just looked at the rules there. Now the rabbit's been doing pretty good. The only time the rabbit's, I think maybe once he's died unintentionally. But he has died a couple of times intentionally because he thunderclaps too close to a couple of other mobs and I misjudged how close they were to each other. So
It's too far away.
it made friends and it was too many friends that we couldn't handle, so we did have to sacrifice the machine a few times here.
I don't have a target.
But I've got the rabbit on defensive and in tank spec at the moment. So usually I'll attack first, and then when it's pulled out of the pack, then I'll stick the rabbit on the mob just to make life a little bit easier. Kind of want to have mend pet running as much as possible, at least when you're in the middle of a fight. I usually try to hit it right before I send the rabbit into the fight, just to get that started on him. Keep him from getting too low at the outset. So we've got the warrior down already, so that's good. We've got about 15% to go on the hunter. So hunter took a little bit of time yesterday. So it took a good deal of time yesterday to get them to that point. Which is why I brought them up to where they were, because, you know, it's gonna take a while. This is a time investment, and yeah, I am rested, and it's taken that long. So, definitely something to keep in mind. You're not gonna be able to blink and be done. So, I mean, it's gonna take a couple of hours to get through a level, especially now. But that's just part of it. It's the way it is. And I know a lot of people are always like, oh, what's your slash played? What's your slash played? Well, slash played is really just the amount of time that you've been logged in on that character in WoW. It's not the length of time that you've actually had this character in existence. So it's a little deceiving, I think. Because, I mean, I only play a level a week. Usually. That's going to change a little bit here soon, but for a while it was a level a week. Now it might be a level every 2 weeks. It depends on how much time I have that I can invest a week on these guys and how long it's going to take to get through them. Because, I mean, this one, they were up to 3 hours yesterday. And that was just one character. And as you can see, I didn't ding yet. So, if it's going to start taking about 4 hours a level, then, you know, time's going to add up fairly quickly. So this is what I was talking about yesterday. I mean, I don't mind being out here. It's not bad. But you've got people doing all sorts of quests out here. And then you know, it takes a little bit longer to find stuff that's up to actually kill. So we might have to go down into the basin a bit further. Maybe go after some snakes that maybe somebody's not working on. We'll see. Because there'd be times where I'd hit a section where I'm like, oh yeah, you know, nobody's over here, this is great. And it was like, bam, everybody was on that. And I was like, oh, okay. So much for that. But where I was in Borean, there wasn't a whole lot of people in that particular spot, so that had been working out fairly well. It was just a really big loop, that's all. But I was getting quite a few greens out there, I will say. It seems like every time I switched where I was at, I started getting some greens, which surprised me. I was like, oh, okay, sure. If you want to give this to me, I will take that. Because, like, for a while, it was like maybe 3 or 4 drops in a row. Almost, where I was like getting a green. I was like, oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? And it was like, really? Another one? Like, okay. So I'd gone so long without actually getting a green, it just surprised me. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, I might be back on the WoW Challenges show shortly. I won't know yet what the date is. I'm sort of in standby mode. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll try to let you guys know as much in advance as I can. But I really won't know all that soon. There's 2 possible dates I might be on. But again, when I know, I will let you guys know.
I need a target.
So I've got to get notes together for me for that. Gotta get a list of my total number of kills that I've done here so far. Between everybody. That's gonna be a number, isn't it? My goodness. And I might actually have to do a write-up soon. There's been a lot of action on the Bloodthirsty list. It's a good thing. I like seeing people playing. Giving some love to the other challenges. Oh, goodness. Bushes. Trees and things. Okay. Come on, bunny. There we go. Thought I had hit attack. I guess I had not. One of the minor dangers of running in defensive, but you know, as soon as the mob hits you, your pet will kick in. I mean, a lot of people just like to leave them on assist. I prefer them on assist, honestly, but with the way I DC sometimes, it's probably best if I do give myself as much of a chance as possible, so that would be leaving it on defensive. Just in case. And, did manage to... I saw a sale and I could not pass it up. So I did manage to pick up, at least the base copy of Planet Coaster, so I'm kind of excited to get back into that. Don't know when that's gonna happen though. Probably not going to stream that because I am so terrible at building stuff. And this one person that plays it a lot, whose videos I watch on it, just put me to shame so terribly bad. And Jaunty does, and Just a phenomenal job building on that. Just absolutely blows my mind every time I sit there and watch one of his videos. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Stuff that you come up with. Alright. So, at least we found some stuff down here that nobody seems to really be fussing with at the moment. So, at least this way we don't have to keep mounting and searching for some kills here. And we're getting about 820, 860. Definitely in the 800 range right now. Occasionally we'll get 760. So it really depends on the mob and what level they happen to be. What was that?
iPad, sorry.
That poor iPad. Alright. So my little tiny ass gnome blending in with the background. Actually, my rabbit's blending in with the background pretty good too here. Thought I'd hit that, but I guess it was on global. Okay, there we go. Alright. So I am in Beastmaster spec. I've been watching Zortz run Iron Man on his hunter, and he's in Marksman. I'm a little afraid to try Marksman. Because I know Beastmaster more than Marksman. Not that I'm that good at Beastmaster, but I know it better, shall we say. So I might just stay what I'm at and use the adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Because I might end up getting myself into more trouble if I switch at this point. So I'm not really having any difficulties. It's actually been going fairly decently. And pretty satisfied. Satisfied with my rabbit at this point in time. I saw some potential hunter changes that I'm not sure if I'm gonna be fully happy about, but then again, I don't really know the full meat of the change, so I'm not gonna get too worked up about it until, you know, I know for sure this is the way the change is gonna be and this is what we're gonna have to do. So, you know, again, I know a lot of people are data mining information out of the alpha. But don't get too upset yet. It's an alpha build. That does not mean it's 100% set in stone. It can change. It can be tweaked, it can be adjusted. I mean, you know, we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, if they are talking about doing a change and there's that huge of an outcry from the community about, what are you doing? You can't do that. Then, you know, it's Blizzard. They might change their mind and readjust something. So, you know, we'll start to get a little more, okay, this is, you know, this is looking more probable when we get closer to release. But I wouldn't worry too much about any potential changes at this point in time.
I don't have a target.
Just because, you know, we're a little ways out. And, you know, a lot can change between here and there. Alright, that person's working on that. Alright, we're going to take the bridge over here. Come along, Mr. Putt-Putt. There be gators over here that we needs to kill. And if you could hear that vibration thumping, that's not me. That was a car going by. So, I do apologize. We do have the one window open. The weather has been crazy. It is raining. We had thunderstorms yesterday. There's talk of more thunderstorms this afternoon at some point. It's almost 70 right now, Fahrenheit. Same in the States. It's supposed to get down to 33 Fahrenheit tonight. Go figure. I don't understand this. This weather is crazy. Like, wow, 33. Alright. So, again, for really all of the challenges, I've been noticing sort of not disturbing per se, but I've been noticing a trend. And I gotta tell you, it's really super, super important that you read the rules and you read the FAQ. Because a lot of your minor questions that you might be sitting for an hour or so waiting for somebody to answer you about may be covered. I'm not saying, you know, I mean, if you need a clarification, you need a clarification. But, you know, a lot of stuff is covered in the FAQ. So don't forget to check that out. And, you know, it's really important that you read the rules. You don't want to get flagged for something ridiculous. Because, you know, you did a quest that you thought you could do, and it turns out you couldn't. Or something. Just make sure you give those a look-see. Alright, so we are having 2 friends here that we have acquired. No, I don't want your love and attention. I misdirected you. Alright, so we'll probably hit Exil just to top off me and the rabbit here. Well, that was really my fault on that pull, because I didn't pay attention that fully to where everything was positioned. Because it was a little crowded in there. So let's pull this guy back if he ever decides to pull back. Come on. Alright, I just didn't want to get the flower involved if we didn't have to. Alright, now we can get the flower involved. I wasn't sure if the flower was gonna make friends or not, so you never know. Sometimes these flowers spawn extra flowers, depending on what zone you're in. I've had the ones in the lashers in wetlands do that. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so we've got a few things here that we can make friends with. Get that heal going. My poor lime green bunny. It's been covered in snake venom, I guess. Hope it's not some kind of like acid spit. That would be bad. I might eat through the metal on the bunny. We'll have holes in the bunny. Have to go back to Ironforge and get him refurbished. That's not good. Not good at all. Alright. So, it might be an acid spit, actually. Wasn't fully... Oh, it's just a poison spit. Okay. Poison spit. Oh, it's on me now. Bunny, what's going on? You were supposed to take the hit there. Alright. It's always weird hitting, Dire Beast and then having a second copy of what you're attacking show up to attack it. It's always kind of strange. But so far, we've been doing fairly well on this little hunter. It's a 50,000. Alright.
It's too far away.
I actually sold some primal airs the other day off the paladin. For a little bit of change. I feel like there's something under my mouse again. Drives me crazy because my mouse is hopping on the screen, and I know it's not the battery because I checked that earlier. It didn't appear to be. It says the one hazard of having pets and trying to do this is no matter how hard you try to keep some areas as pet hair free zones, if you seriously think you're going to keep it a pet free zone or pet free hair zone, then you got another thing coming because it just goes everywhere. It's airborne, there's not much you can do about it. Alright. Sorry if my voice sounded funny there. I had a flashlight under my on my shoulder that I was leaning my head down on, trying to place spot the hair on the lens of the mouse. So I mean, I would love it if they could make it a way so that hair wouldn't get up on the lens, but it just doesn't quite seem
I'm out of range.
like it's happened yet. Or if it has happened, then it's a mouse I can't afford. Put it that way. I actually usually don't like wireless mice. For a long time, I refused to use one because I was afraid the batteries were going to die at like the worst possible moment ever. But I've got batteries in the drawer next to me now because I was just killing my wired mice so quickly.
It's too far away.
And they were actually getting a little bit harder to find. But, like, my hands are kind of small, so I don't want to invest in these big-ass gaming mice because they actually hurt my hand. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but
I need to get closer.
so I'm on this little wireless mouse. I think it's bigger than a laptop mouse. I think. You know, it's just like a standard Logitech mouse, and it gets the job done. But then again, you know, I'm not really rating, but even when I was rating, I didn't need that many extra buttons. You know, I had like an extra button that I sometimes had a heel bound to on the mouse, but not all the time. Like, I have Healbot set up here, but you know, even though I'm on a hunter, I don't really have anything on it. I'm just actually using it to watch my health bars, so that way, you know, I'm so used to looking at it from rating that I don't really register this health bar here, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but I don't. I'm more used to looking at these, so having this out here in the middle of the screen, I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Half the time, I don't even see this. Especially when you're in an environment that's the same color as your bar. Even though I've got like the larger health plates on, I'm always looking at these. I'm not really looking at that. Probably because this is closer to my buttons.
I need a
Is
target.
probably what it is, so it feels like it's easier to watch these when it's closer to these. What is that? That's an oracle. No idea where we are right now. Frenzy Heart River is where we happen to be, it would seem, according to the map. What's out this way? Oh, it doesn't matter. All we're looking for is something to kill. As long as we don't wander into any horde areas, that's the biggest concern. I don't think there is an actual horde area out here, though. There could be, but I think it's mostly neutral.
I don't have a target.
Flight points, if I'm remembering correctly. Wrath seems to have a number of neutral flight points. But Sholzar, I think, was more of a neutral territory. I think. Could be wrong. Like I said, I don't normally play Horde. The Horde that I've recently been on have been my challenge tunes, so haven't exactly been questing on them unless you want to count my team's character with Zorts. By the way, we should be doing teams on Friday. As far as I can tell, as of right now, we should be doing that. I'm sorry we had to skip last Friday. I had some WoW time issues, but those have been corrected now. We're good. Good for the next month at the very least. All is well and dandy. I thought I saw a nameplate over here. Yes, I did. Where are you? You're down there. Oh, you're that quest guy. Okay. We don't really need the quest guy, so we're gonna head back over in this direction. How much are those worth? Oh, 3 gold. That's not bad. For a stack of those. That's not too shabby at all. So, I mean, I do loot everything on my Bloodthirsty. So that's how we get money, right? Is looting. We need money for repairs and flight points and all that happiness. I haven't seen too many good transmogs out here that just randomly drop. I mean, you might get that one piece that somebody's really searching for, but there's nothing phenomenal that I've seen in Wrath where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a definite gonna sell that hasn't dropped from a raid. Excuse me. I think by the time we got to Wrath, a lot of it was raid oriented, but you know, somebody might want stuff for DE mats. You never know what you're gonna find, and at the very least you can vendor this shit for vendor value, so it's always an option. I mean, even if you don't want to use auction house, you can. You don't have to, but you can. And if you do end up trying to buy gear off auction house, just make sure there's no enchants on it. Because, you know, some people trying to level their enchanting skill in the past have enchanted items and then throw them up on auction house trying to squeak out a few extra coins on them. And, so you do have to watch out for that. Because you can't have any enchants. So it's definitely helpful to try to get these guys to the 80-85% through their level range before coming on stream. Because then I can get through a lot more of these guys in one sitting. Oh, what's that? Arcane resistance, mail, and stamina. Alright then. Don't know if that's gonna sell, but we'll find out, I guess. We will definitely see. So let's keep moving here. We're almost there. We're at 98%. I've got about 10 slots left in the bag, so I don't think we need to stop and vendor just yet. I think we're okay there.
It's too far away.
So, and don't forget, Thursday is my Iron Man day. And we'll be picking back up with Snoodle, the Resto Shaman. And we'll see if we can get off of Bloodmist Isle unscathed. Don't know if we're going to be doing any of the Lunar Festival on her. I know we can on the Iron Man. I don't know if I'm going to, though, because I was starting to do some of it on my pacifist. And I gotta tell you, it's a lot of traveling. Like, a lot. And for what you get out of it, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, yeah, it's like half of a normal quest XP. But that's a lot of traveling for half of normal quest XP when I could just, you know, be straight up questing somewhere. I mean, if I come across one of the elders during the event, then yeah, sure, I'll click on them. But I don't know if I'm actually going to go out actively looking for them. Because it was half the XP that I was getting off the fishing and cooking daily on the pacifist. And I was like, you know what, why am I doing this? Because I am wasting so much time running around trying to get these coins for like 4,000 XP on her based off of her level, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd be getting more out of it if I was just picking stuff. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, if I come across any on the Iron Man, then yeah, I'll click it. Now remember, if you're on Bloodthirsty, you cannot participate in the Lunar Festival. It all counts as quests, honoring all of the elders, all of it. Because when you click on the elder, it's a quest. It's a little exclamation point. So, can't really do that. And this is going to end up thunderclapping. Okay, good. We were okay. How far are you gonna walk here? Just have to be careful when you've got a herd. I mean, we've got a couple traps, but you definitely have to have room to work the herds if you're gonna try to pull one out of them. That's the only real problem I see with dealing with the packs. I mean, yeah, it's awesome that they're yellow, and or some of them are yellow, and you can get in there and dissect them. But if you have an AoE turned on your pet, that might not be a good idea. I think I had aggroed an entire herd yesterday, and I was like, oh crap, and I was like, where's my freaking feign death? Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to fight my way out of this. So I did have to feign yesterday. And then I was sitting there just hoping that they didn't decide to come after me, even though I was feigned. I was like, oh, please go away, please go away, please go away. Of course, you know, I had to wait till the bunny had been sacrificed, but you know, we got through it in one piece, so that's good. Okay, so we've got a couple more thousand to go here on this level. And that one actually hurt me a little bit, so we might sit down and have a snack here in a second. Ow. Alright, yeah, let's have something to eat here real super quick. You know, I'm sitting on this. It's stamina, though. And that requires level 76. I am hoping that I actually get something that might be a little bit better to drop. I mean, I have picked up a couple pieces that I've put on recently. Still looking for a new weapon. Well, my weapon's not terrible, but I'd be a lot happier with a new weapon. That might involve doing some shopping on Auction House, though I really don't want to. 'Cause I don't have that much money. I've only got the 255 on this one right now, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if something drops. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Alright, so let's keep that moving. Oh, hey, there's our ding. So we are 74 now on the hunter. Alright, let's zoom in here. Man, everybody's calling this house today. Alright, let's drop the UI.
Hello.
And let's take the second capture there. Alright, so we're gonna start to hearth out of here. And we'll get our slash blade. Alright, so that's gonna be a loading screen. That's what that's gonna be. Alright, so that's gonna be Bloodthirsty Soul Shot. My Beastmaster Hunter. And that was what, 74 we just did? Yeah. And we've got a slash blade of 3 days, 21 hours, 56 minutes, and 31 seconds. And we've got a kill total of, close that, we don't need that up. So we've got 13,271. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and send that to Twitter. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So let's vendor that. Actually, it looked like I lagged there for a second. That was a little odd. Alright, so we're up to 269. Now remember, this isn't the money that I started out with originally. I've actually robbed my characters at least once to get a game time token. So this is from a recent game time token robbery that happened. So I'm slowly building everybody's cash back up. Alright, so we've got a nice haul that we need to take to Auction House here soon. Alright, so we've got the hunter and we got the warrior. So let's come back over to the list real quick. And we'll update the hunter there. Alright. Now. Now we're gonna hop over to the shaman. This is my Bloodthirsty Resto Shaman. And they are currently out in Feralis. Okay. So as you can see, I've been doing some away from stream work on this one as well. It's actually doing a little bit before stream time this morning too. So I didn't have her quite to where I wanted her. Alright. So I've been kind of over here in Feralis. I kind of like to hang out here. Try to get a whelp for a little while before I move on. There's a place in Thousand Needles I like to go at some points. Not sure how long I'll stay here. Probably for a little bit. I need to see what the base, what is the base 1,000 needles entrance level. So that's 40. So we'll probably stay here till we get to maybe 39. And then we'll think about moving on to 1,000 needles. I technically don't have to move until 60, but I don't like being in the same spot constantly. It drives me crazy. I know a lot of people are fine with that. I like to move around. Like, I don't mind being in the same spot for a certain period of time. But if I'm there too much, then I'm like, yeah, okay, we need to move now. It's been long enough. Like, I reach my limit of being able to tolerate one specific location, so. Because I know some people are all about, oh, just staying in Loch Modan until 60, and yeah, okay, fine, whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, but with the rares being not quite so optimal to take on, at least out in the other zones. I don't know about rares at different higher levels in Loch Modan. Those might start getting dicey from what I've heard from some of the irons. I don't know. I don't really think. I don't think you should stay someplace you're not happy. I mean, if you feel good about a grinding area, then hey, fine, whatever. Oh, hello. How are you? But yeah, definitely go where you're happy grinding. I'm currently out here seeing if I can get a whelp to drop, because, you know, that'll be some cash in our pocket. We'll probably be screwing around out here, so maybe level 39 or so. And then we'll move on to one of my favorite spots in 1,000 Needles. I'm kicking. I'm here. I'm alive. You know, another day. Another day just trying to get through. Just glad that the internet seems to be cooperating today. There was a problem somewhere down the line on Sunday, so I do apologize for missing Sunday's stream. I had actually planned on doing it. For those of you that saw me trying to go live, I did try a few times before I just gave up, and my WoW latency wasn't terrible at first, but then somewhere down the line it was fluctuating so hard. My broadcast software was in the red because it couldn't get a proper connection. And I tried restarting my system. I tried a couple different things. I tried restarting our modem. But then when I tried to go again, and then I saw my WoW latency for World shoot up, I was like, okay, I don't think this is a me problem. I think this is a provider problem at this point. So then I just kind of backed off, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to do this another day. And even then, I was trying to work on some of my challengers, and it was spotty at best. I had to keep stopping and going and working on other things. Because, I mean, I was okay with the latency around, you know, 120 or so World, I was alright. 140, I was alright. It was starting to lag a little bit when I was looting on 140, so I was like, I don't know. So then I hopped on a normal, because I was going to go do a transmog run for a piece that I've been trying to get. And when I was in Pandaria for the Alliance base out there in the Vale, my latency was up over 300 for World, and I was like, oh no. I moved locations, and when I got to Old Darlaran, Northrend Darlaran, I had dropped to 2 something, and I was still not real happy about that. I'm like, yeah, let me just see how this transmog run goes, and then I'm probably gonna go do some other things. And I got through that. I killed the boss I needed, didn't get what I wanted. I got a mount that I already had instead, which I was really upset about, because I couldn't even give it to anybody because it was soulbound. Couldn't even sell it. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna let this sit for a while and see if it sorts itself. It looked like it had started to sort itself towards the end of the night, but then I was like, yeah, okay. And then yesterday I was watching it. It was a little weird yesterday, but it was better. It was definitely a lot better, but I can't stream on Mondays because there's other stuff going on. Monday is the husband's time. He has his D&D game with his people, so I can't really stream while he's doing that because they do it over Discord and Roll20, so they can all talk to each other and everything. So you definitely don't want the D&D oddness in the background of a one-sided D&D encounter coming through, because then nobody understands what the frig is going on in the background. So it's just easier for me to not stream on Monday. But things are good today. Home and world have been fluctuating a little bit, but not out of the normal range. So I'm okay with that. Anything under 90 is kind of normal for me. 60s is more base normal, but right now, you know, anything under 90 is fine. I can deal with that. When it starts to hit 90 and goes up from there, then once it starts to hit 90, then I really start watching it closely, because I'm like, what's going on? So then it starts to get in the little of piqued interest mode. You know, is this a me problem or is this a provider problem? But, you know, so far today it's been behaving, so it's a lot better. I'm keeping an eye on the weather, because we do have some thunderstorm potential here. Nothing serious, just nothing severe at this time. They're not really expecting it to be. It's actually a little creepy because the wind sounds like it died down a little bit, and it's been windy as shit for the past like 24 hours. We had stuff blowing across our front porch. We had a wicker chair try to leave the front porch earlier. But we'll see. Yeah, that is a long way. Like, I never really paid much attention to it. I only usually paid attention to the color. But since I've changed computers last year, I can definitely feel the difference for when it starts to go up. Because now that I'm on a different processor, the older processor was definitely feeling its age, and it was getting to the point where I was trying to do the challenges, and when I hit a spell there would be like a 1-second delay, so I never knew if I was about to DC or if that's just how it was gonna be. So but now, like, the second there's a delay, I'm like, oh god, what's going on? So, because I don't have that anymore. So now it's like, oh my god, what's going on? Am I about to DC? What's going on? And so I kind of watch the colors over here. And, like, before I started doing the challenges, I never really paid attention to it unless the color changed on the question mark. Like, if it started to, like, get yellow or red, I was like, what's going on? You know, I was like, what's the deal? But, even now, sometimes when it's green and I feel like I'm starting to lag a little bit, I'm like, oh god, no. I've lost so many challengers to DCs, though. So many. I should be called the DC Queen instead of the Bloodthirsty Queen, honestly. But, we'll see what happens. It's definitely gotten better than it used to be. I will say that. The old processor was one of, like, the old computer that I replaced last year was one of the newer i5s at the time when they were coming out. So, I mean, I definitely got some use out of it. That's for sure. But, you know, they don't last forever, and I was definitely feeling it. Like my graphics were like on 2, and because if I had it any higher than I was chugging when I was starting to run through the cities and everything, I was like, oh no. I think I'm playing on 4 right now on my graphics, but you know, I got what I could afford, let's put it that way. So I'm definitely not on a high-end gaming computer by any stretch of the imagination. I might have to start saving up for a graphics card for Battle for Azeroth. I don't know yet. We'll see. I mean, I'm perfectly fine playing with stuff on 2 as long as it runs. That's all I really care. I mean, yeah, it's really super pretty and awesome when you can have your graphics turned up higher, but it's not going to make or break it for me. So, I mean, I'm okay with that. Let's see, I doubt I'm going to actually have a whelp drop because I got one recently to drop maybe, what, 2 weeks now on the monk. So I'll be surprised if I get another one to drop so soon. It seems like if I get one to drop on somebody, then it's quite a while before I see another one drop on somebody else. Yeah, you can stop hitting me now, because, you know, your main person disappeared. Yeah, you know, somebody asked me what my graphics card was, and I had looked it up, and I think I'd posted it on my Twitter page for them, because I couldn't remember who had asked me. And, now I don't remember what it is. I know it's an NVIDIA GeForce, but that's about all I remember. Got a terrible memory. I want to say it's a 7-something. I honestly want to say it's an NVIDIA GeForce 760 or 780. It's not the greatest. It is an older card, I will say that. I bought it as an older card because it was better than what I had. And it was cheaper than one of the ones that we were looking at. I mean, it's been getting the job done, so it's like, oh, okay, you know, it's running most of the stuff that I'm playing without any issue. But I'm a little concerned about about BFA. I might need to upgrade it then, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think I can play it on what I've got. I'm just gonna have to have shit turned down. Yeah, I looked it up before, but you know. Honestly, when it comes to that stuff, I'm just like, husband, fix it. I'm just like, make it work. Like, I might be able to install a card on my own. I've watched him do it a few times. When we had to switch out cards from this PC to the other PC. Because I had some trouble with this PC when I first got it. Apparently I was one of the few and far between that it happens to, but when I got this PC, apparently it had a bad motherboard, and like day one out of the box it was acting a little strange, and we were getting blue screen of death, couldn't figure out what was going on. It was the first time one of us had a solid state hard drive in there, I think, and we weren't sure if we were doing something wrong or what the hell was going on, and we thought that we were incompetent at first, and then it kept happening, and so we ended up calling the help number, and we're like, hey, what's going on? Why is this happening? Because we actually thought we had narrowed down the problem to a bad stick of RAM. Because for some reason it wasn't registering one of the sticks. And we're like, okay. So maybe this is what the problem is. So we were on the phone, well, the husband was on the phone with HP support, I think for almost 2 hours, fussing with this. And he was just so frustrated because, you know, he's like, look, I think this is what it is. And, well, they didn't want to just send us a stick of RAM. So they're like, well, you're gonna have to send the whole system back. And we're like, what? And it's like, I just got this. I've had it 3 days and you're telling me I have to send it back. They're like, well, we're gonna send you a box and stuff and shipping labels. So, just, you know, go ahead. We'll bring you the stuff and pack it up and then take it to, you know, your local FedEx drop, whatever. If you don't have one, you can call the number and they can come pick it up or some nonsense. And I'm like, okay. So we sent it back. It took like, what was it, 2 or 3 days to get there. They looked at it. I got an email saying that they were sending the system back and a tracking number, and I'm like, okay. We get it back and the paperwork inside says that they replaced the motherboard because I was also having Ethernet cable connections, and it seemed like it was, the whole motherboard was slowly failing one piece at a time. It was ridiculous. And so they just replaced the entire motherboard, and we're like, okay, well, what about the stick of RAM? And we had put a mark with a Sharpie marker on the stick of RAM that we thought was in question because we still felt that that was a problem. And when we got the PC back, that stick of RAM was still in there because we had specifically marked it, so we knew which one it was. And we're like, well, the stick of RAM's still in here. And so we were confused because we're like, this wasn't registering. So I guess they thought that the new motherboard was going to fix that, and they weren't paying attention to the diagnostics that they ran before they sent it back to us. We loaded it up, got everything hooked up. We got the graphics card switched around again because we had switched out the power supplies from my old PC to this new PC to run the graphics card or some nonsense. And so, like, about 45 minutes of making sure everything was resituated. We loaded it up. I think he ran a diagnostics, and it was not registering that stick of RAM. We're like, are you fucking kidding me? Immediately, we had the computer back like 3 hours, 4 hours. He got back on the phone with HP support, and we're like, yeah, hello, the RAM? And they're like, oh, well, you've got to send it back. I was livid. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, I've had this computer 2 weeks, and I've had it for a total of 3 days in my possession. And now you're telling me I've got to send it back? Again? I just got it back today. They're like, well, yeah, you have to send it back. I was pissed. It's been okay since then. I was pissed. Yeah. Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I mean, yeah, they fixed it free of charge and everything because it was still under warranty, but
I don't have a target.
I was like, we told you about this being a problem. And we even wrote on the notes in the paperwork that we had to send back to them with the PC. We marked the stick of RAM with a magic marker. It has a circle and a dot in the center of it. This is the RAM stick we believe is in question. Ugh. First time I've ever had that happen on any PC I've gotten. And in fact, that was partially why the husband wanted me to get a HP, because he's never had a problem with them. So I'm like, okay. So we went HP, and I guess I just got lucky. Well, no, the motherboard was failing. It was slowly failing. They just didn't fix everything. Oh, and there's the ting on the shaman. Because I was having an Ethernet cable problem where it was saying I wasn't connected, and I was, and it wasn't the cable. We tested it. The wireless was working, but the cable was not. And we're like, okay. And then it was slowly saying, you know, this driver wasn't there, this driver wasn't there, and the diagnostics that they were having us run while we were on the phone with them were slowly kicking back memory problems and all sorts of shit. And like, we went round and round with them the first time. Like, the first time we were on the phone, we were on, husband was on there with them literally at least 2 hours. And having him rerun the same stuff, trying this, now rerun it, try this, now rerun the same thing again, and it was just terrible. And at one point, the computer died entirely. Like, it would not turn on. The husband wasn't sure what the hell they did, and he's like, whatever you guys told me to do just killed the entire system. It was terrible. It took a while to get it back up so that they could even continue the diagnostic stuff. They did manage to get it back up over the phone, but it's like, what are you guys doing? And, you know, and we kept telling them while he had them on the phone, you know, we think there's a problem with this RAM stick as well. But, that was one of the things they were supposed to check for, but along with replacing the motherboard, they just, I guess, didn't, or thought that replacing the motherboard fixed it. I don't know. But, after we saw that it was still only registering 1 stick of RAM, we called the helpline immediately, and they didn't even bother. I think they may have had us run one thing. I'm not even sure if they made the husband run it at that point. I can't remember, because he was on the phone with them for like maybe 15 minutes. And the person that he had this time was like, he talked to them. I guess they saw in the computer that we had just gotten it back, that they had just had this in their possession. I don't know. But we were like, look, this still is a problem. And next thing I know, he was off the phone. I was like, that was awfully quick. He goes, yeah, they just gave me, they just told me that they were sending out more boxes and more packing material and more shipping labels. And I was like, oh, okay. Right then. So, I mean, at least it was fixed and I didn't have to pay for it, but I was so paranoid when we got it back the second time. So I was like, if something's wrong again this time, these fuckers are sending me a brand new PC, because this is stupid. Resto Shaman. Dings. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have my spelling right, because I was flipping the wording around. See, I don't like it when it does that. I don't like how it separates, so then I just jump back down here. So this one was also started before the patch 7.3.5. 3 hours, 49 minutes, and 52 seconds. Alright, so, she got a new one, so she gave it to me rather than throwing it in the trash. I never... like, the system I had before was a Dell, and it was alright. You know, I didn't have too many complaints with it. You know, it got the job done, but he didn't like Dell. He really wanted me to go HP, and I was like, oh, alright, and it's what we could afford at the time, so that's what we ended up going with. I mean, at least they fixed it, but it was just really frustrating to have a brand new system right out of the box that I couldn't do anything with. And having to send it back. So, at least 2 times after getting it, so it's just, I was not happy. Alright, so let's log out on that one. Let me pop over to the website again real quick. And let's see, Shaman. I like being on this server because there's not that many bloodthirsties on this server. So it's like, okay, yeah, that one's mine. That one's mine. That one's mine. Alright, so that one's updated. Okay. Let me get out of there. Alright, so this is my mage. She's level 16. Actually, let me do a quick weather check real quick here. See what's going on with the weather. It's really funny because I'm looking at our weather radar, and it's like rain and thunderstorms, and then on the top edge of it, it's pink for ice. So it's like, oh, okay. Sure. Because, I mean, it was almost 70 at one point around noon. And, it's supposed to drop to 33 tonight. Fahrenheit, so it's quite a difference. Alright, we need to make some food. Yeah, I mean, I would love it if there was somebody that, local that knew their shit, like really knew their shit. And, could, you know, just come to me and fix it and be done with it. Or I could, like, take it to them and have it back the next day. But I had to send it out, and it had to go, like, a couple states away for them to fix it, and it was, like, 2-day airing the thing, and, oh, it was a disaster. I was, like, sitting there constantly watching the tracking to see if it had moved. I'm like, where is it? Okay, so I'm in Brill, it would seem. Alright, where are we going? We need to go towards the Castleton Estate. Well, that's right, we came over here. Because, we were trying to kill some rares. Oh, hold on a second. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let's slide that over. Like, I don't even really need this up on this one. Like, my warrior, I think I turned it off because I was like, yeah, I, you know, don't really need it. There's not much I can do if I see my health going down on the warrior. It's just like, yeah, okay. Alright. So, we're in Terracefall? Keep calling it Tristfall. There's no extra T. Terracefall Glades. Out here in the undead area. We are on the goblin mage. Now you can be a goblin and be bloodthirsty because you are allowed to quest to get out of the starting zone for the goblins. That's why I said, you know, there's some exceptions to the questing rule. Gotta make sure you look at the rules for that. This one is in... Where did you come from? Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. This one is in, some greens. Actually, it might be in all greens right now. Really shitty greens, but she's in greens. And I was gonna run down there, but you know what? There's a whole bunch of mobs down there, and I don't really feel like dealing with them at the moment, so we're gonna go this way. Terrace Fall's going to scale till 20. So we're probably gonna hang out over here for a little bit. I'm not super confident on her ability to kill too many rares. She killed a couple, but without having a heal, I'm not trusting it very far. I don't know if I'll be able to kill any once we get out of here, but we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. Sometimes there's a rare here. I'm just seeing if he is in fact here, but we have to kind of kill our way to him. Because this is a pretty... Okay, there he is. He just kind of phased in. I don't know if he just spawned in or if he just got within our view distance. I'm not entirely certain. It kind of looked like he just spawned in, honestly. Alright, so let's see. Can I get you? Are you close enough? Technically? This might be a little rough here. Alright, we're closer. Oh, shit, you silenced me. So that was pretty close. Didn't care for that, to say the least. Let's have a cookie. Let's console ourselves over a cookie. Oh, hey, we were actually a good deal through this level, it looks like. Okay. I had forgotten about that. I forgot that we were out rare hunting a bit past leveling last time. Oh, that raptor is so pretty. I don't have my BFA pre-order just yet. We were waiting on money to come in. We should be receiving that money by the end of the week. I'm probably not going to be able to get the special edition yet, though. But I will be able to at least get my allied races unlocked. Couldn't think of the word I wanted. But, I'm gonna have to earn the money for my special edition, but it looks like, according to the website, you can upgrade the base BFA to the special edition. Yeah. So I was, because Russell's like, well, do you really need the special edition? Russell's the husband. And I was like, yes, I really need the special edition. I was like, I've gotten the special edition, whether it's hard copy or digital, since, like, Wrath. And it's like, I have to have it. So I'm gonna have to, it's like Christmas tradition. So I'm gonna have to do some work from home stuff, and it's gonna take a little bit to get that money put aside. Although it might not take too long, might take like maybe 2 weeks or so to get the difference. Depends on how much stuff's available that I can do. It took me about a week to get the money for a month of WoW, so. Now look here, you cursed Darkhound. So, I'm trying not to rely on my band-aids so much here in case first aid does end up going away. So I am actually going to start making sure I have 2 stacks of cookies already made on me. I was doing that for a while on my level 65 mage that I had. But then that was before the scaling patch came in. And so after a certain point, she like didn't even need the cookies. So then I started getting into the habit of not having that many. So let's see. Sometimes the frost bolt helps so that it slows these guys down before they get to me. I mean, rares on a non-healing class are a little sketchy, let's say. Definitely I'm thinking twice about going after them. I mean, if they're gonna open it up so that tailors can make them, and then anybody can use them without having to level it, I mean, it's sort of nice in a way. Sorry, my voice is getting all weird. It's sort of nice in a way. However, there is the potential problem of there not being any up. But, or them being exuberantly expensive. If that ends up being the case where tailors make them and you have to buy them. You know there's the price gougers that are going to be all over it and trying to make as much money as they can. But then again, in the same respect, fellow challengers could level a normal, like a non-challenge tune, and make the bandages and put them up at a lower price. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't have a target.
Because, I mean, you won't be able to buy from yourself, but as a courtesy to other challengers, I don't know, because then that might fall under getting help. But you're buying it from auction house, so I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see. It will be interesting to see how it's actually going to come out in the end. Because we're still not real sure what they're doing with that. I mean, I guess maybe not that enough people use first aid, so they're trying to make it one less thing that they have to keep layering, maybe, and expanding profession-wise. Honestly, I was happy with just being able to make bandages. I didn't need all these extra salves and abilities to treat fever and set bones with all, you know, the Legion stuff that came in on it. But, then there is the issue of if there is a tailoring profession exception, much like it. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. Because Stone doesn't know what he wants to do yet. I mean, it's still in alpha. There might be enough outcry from the community where they change their mind. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just trying to get used to not using them. I mean, it's the one thing I like about Frost. I know a lot of people seem to... What's the phrase I'm looking for? Perhaps poo-poo Frost spec. But that Frost bolt really does come in handy. Because it's slowing these guys down before they get to you. And then when you get them down to a certain point, you can just ice lance them. And then when you get flurry, flurry's good. And then when flurry procs, it's really good. And we'll just have to make sure, you know, we've got food.
I need to target something first.
You know? Definitely gonna have to make sure we got the food. Like when I was running the one bloodthirsty warrior as Fury at one point, one of the ones previously that had died. Yet again to a DC. I don't know what it is with Fellwood and me, but we've got a history. I was having like 4 stacks of food on me. Because Fury was pretty rough at that point. Oh shit, rare. Can I get to her? Depends on where she's walking. Might ding by the time I get to her. You know, and then once I get Ice Shield, that might make things a little bit better as well. You know, it depends. I mean, amongst the warriors, if you go prot... What am I doing? Yeah, I'm thinking that's my bubble and I'm on my priest. No. No, dumbass. You're on your mage.
I need a target.
Too many tunes. But, the fuck was I saying? Totally gone now. Oh yeah, so like, if you manage to get to 40 on the warriors, at least... I don't know if all of the specs have it or if it's just prot and arms. But, you'll get Ignore Pain. Which didn't really seem to mean a whole lot pre-patch. I think that's gonna mean a lot more now. Is something attacking me? No. That was weird. Can I get you in range? I don't know. You're wandering off that way. There might be two of them out here. I mean, I know there's two, but... Because that one seemed like it hung around a little bit longer than I was expecting it. Now that I've seen it, I don't want to walk away till I kill it. Alright, let's see. And I have no idea where it's gonna walk up next. But you're making me nervous standing over here, and I don't know why, but you are. You're just there. I'm like, I don't like you standing there. I actually was not impressed with Fury really at all. It really felt like you could kind of do some stuff with it. I mean, and you could kill okay, but I was struggling on Bloodthirsty with it. There's the other one. Or maybe it's the same one. I don't know. I was just taking so much damage, and it was getting so close towards the end of the fight. And then I'd see some people in trade, they're like, Fury's the best warrior spec ever. And I'm like, what? I'm like, maybe with real gear. Certainly not with the state that I'm in with it. Alright, this might get a little close. No, we're okay. Okay, oh, and hey, there's our ding. What is this? Teleport to Ogremar. You don't say. Okay, so we've learned how to teleport. Well, alright then. Well, that was a really quick level. I'd forgotten that we were that far. Oh, hey, we got a bag. Woohoo! A 6-slot bag. I don't need a 6-slot bag. We could try to sell it for a couple of copper. I don't know. I have to think about it. Oh, balls. That's right. Fuck. I didn't want to come all the way back here. Alright, well that's okay, because we're not that far away. And I forgot to take my picture while we were out there. Again. Damn it. Alright, that's fine. A little bumbling pet. We're safer out here anyway. Alright, so let's get back in the building. Bloodthirsty's not... Oh, Jesus. My health's 666. Bloodthirsty's not so bad. It's not a cakewalk. I mean, the green gear doesn't make you invincible. You can still die just as easily as you can on Iron Man. Trust me, I know. And things can go wrong. Sometimes they can go more wrong on Bloodthirsty because you're like, oh yeah, I've got gear on, you know, and you get, you know, the bulletproof drunk kind of feeling, but things can still go terribly wrong. But it is a lot of grinding. There is a lot of time put into Bloodthirsty where it's a lot slower than Iron Man. Because at least with Iron Man, you know, you're doing quests, you're seeing your XP bar jump up in larger increments. And, you know, oh, hey, you know, in one session I've gotten like 2 levels. Cool, you know? Not quite the same with Bloodthirsty. It can take 4 hours, depending on your class and your level, to get a level on Bloodthirsty. Because the demon hunter, the last demon hunter was taking, at one point, maybe 4 hours, anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 hours to get a level on the demon hunter. So, and she was pulling multiple mobs that she probably shouldn't have been. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an investment. Thirsty, greedy soul, and time at the very least. Frost mage.
Actively raining.
Oh, is it? It's not blowing in the window, is it? I wasn't sure how high you had the window.
Nope,
Frost
good.
mage. Where did you go?
Want to have some food?
Oh, okay. What level? 17? That was a quick 17. It helps that I was further than I had remembered being. So she's at 7 hours, 26 minutes, and 38 seconds. And her total kills, which is going to be ridiculously low comparatively. What are we at? Not 14 kills, that's for damn sure. 676. Okay. When I'm getting that kill, I'm saying total kills because I am actually looking at the total kills. Because that's how many I had to kill, whether or not it gave me experience or not. I still had to kill it, so that's why I'm using that one. Alright, so we're actually flying through these a lot faster than I was expecting us to. So there's the mage. So we've gotten the warrior done, hunter done, shaman done. Just got the mage done. So let me just pop over here. I keep closing the WoW Challenges website just so I don't have a whole lot of stuff up and running at one time. Just update that real quick. Okay, so that's updated. Close that down. Alright, so I guess we'll come back to the priest that we were working on the other day. And we'll see what we can find. Hopefully we don't get cross-realmed again in the middle of killing a rare, because that really pissed me off. But again, one of the risks that you take being on a normal server, I suppose. The hell? The hell are you? Where did you get that pet from at level 53? Is that their actual hunter pet? Whoa. That's freaky if that's the pet they start out with. See, I haven't gotten my battle for Azeroth yet. It's one of those weird phase out lizard things. That might be what they start with. Wow. That's all sorts of terrifying. Alright then. Alright, let's repair here.
How are you?
Real super quick. Sorry, I was curious to see if the
See you soon.
stuff the vendors were selling was gonna scale, but it doesn't look like it. Alright, so we should probably mount up since we've got a little bit of running down the road to go. So when we left off on the mage, when we left off on the priest the other day, we were about halfway through. So we'll see what we can find today. And yeah, I should be coming up on as a guest on the WoW Challenges show once again soon. And I can let you guys, I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. I'm on standby right now. I don't know which day I'm actually going to be on. So as soon as I know, again, I'll let you all know. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm either going to be on the 3rd or the 10th. I don't know yet. It depends on somebody else. I'm kind of going to be filling in if someone else can't make it, but they won't know till like last minute, so. Although I'm not sure how last minute is last minute. Like, I don't know if last minute is like literally to the minute, but I don't know. So we'll find out. I will definitely let you guys know on Twitter as soon as I know, but yeah, so we'll see there. It's been a minute since I've been on. Trying to remember when the last time I was on. I think it was right before Christmas. Oh, this phone today. What is going on? We are so popular with the telemarketers today. Everybody wants to sell us stuff that we don't want. How many times have you been on as a non-host guest? That's a good question. How many times have I been on as a non-host guest? Maybe 3? Maybe? 'Cause I know I helped host, 2 shows. Let's see, there was a show with Cell, there was a show with Townie. Those were both 2 times Stone had a family emergency that I popped in to help. There was a BlizzCon show. I think I've helped guest maybe 3 or 4 times, and I think I've been on maybe 3 or 4 times as a regular guest. Well, if I didn't want to be on, I could tell Stone no, but I know I don't mind. Oh, you mean the telemarketers? Well, we've tried that, but then you have to sit through almost 10 minutes of automated talking till you finally get to a person. And then by the time you get to a person, you keep telling them, no, don't call me, I'm not interested. And they just keep right on talking over top of you. And we could put ourselves on a do not call list. We might look into doing that because I think you have to register on a do not call list. And I think it's like updated to these companies every so many months or something. So, I mean, there would still be a few months of where it would happen. Like, the thing that kills me is we've gotten a phone call from this one company. We've been getting it steadily since May 2017. Where when we pick up the phone, they're like, hi, I'm so-and-so from Card Member Services. There's no problems with your there's currently no problems with your card accounts. And I'm like, okay. And it sounds like it's an actual person talking because it's so well recorded. And then they go on to say, this is time is running out. This is your last chance to enroll in some kind of reduced interest rate program. And I'm like, uh-huh. So for the first couple of times, we just hung up on it, and then it kept happening. And I'm like, slowly starting to realize these people are not saying what card company they're calling from. So it feels like it's a scam. They're not saying who they're calling for. And I'm just like, uh-huh, right. Okay. And then it got to be December, and we were still getting the same call with the same recording. Time's running out, and I'm like, this is your last chance. I'm like, I actually got so pissed off at the recording the one day, I started yelling at the recording on the phone, saying, you've been telling me this is my last chance, that time's running out since May. Or maybe we got that call last month, and I flipped out, and I just started screaming at the recording, even though I knew it was a recording. It's like, you've been telling me this since last year. Obviously, time is not running out. In Germany, EU, if they call you again when you tell them not to call, sue them. There is an EU law that prohibits them from doing so if you told them not to. Yeah, I think if we get on a do not call list, like a national do not call list, and they call us, I think then, like after the updated list has gone out, then I think we can do something about it, but I think until they've received an updated list and you can prove that they have the updated list, I don't think there's a whole lot we can do. But we might look into that because it's just becoming like incessant. And now these the telemarketers, now I'm not saying all telemarketers are like this. Some are getting to the point where they are using legit people and legit company phone numbers as what's coming up on the caller ID. Twice now, the phone has rang. Once when my husband was at work, and once when he was home. And it came up with the company that he works for. And the one day when he was at work and it came up, I was like, oh God, what's wrong? You know, why is the company phone number showing up on the caller ID? Why is it the company name? You know, because he works in a production facility, manufacturing. So I thought, you know, that something happened, you know, automatically thinking the worst. Because that's who I am. And I'm in a panic and I quick answer the phone because I normally don't answer the phone unless I recognize the number. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And it was this freaking card member services calling. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was so angry. It was terrible. Yeah, it was, I'm like, this is not right that these people are, I guess it's borrowing the number to put into the caller ID for their misrepresentation of who they are calling at first. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then when they did it, when the husband was home, he thought his job was calling, you know, trying to figure out where the hell he was, you know, why didn't he come into work? And he answered it because he thought they were trying to get him to come into work. And then it's, you know, these telemarketers. He's like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Though, for a few times we got a call. And the husband dealt with it. Where it was somebody calling on a really bad connection. That sounded like they were on a cell phone in a moving vehicle with the window rolled down. Because there was like that static crackly sound like coming in through the speaker on the phone. And they said they were calling from Microsoft. And that there was a problem with our computer. We're like, yeah, no, you're not. He's like, no, I'm calling from We're like, no, you're not. First of all, Microsoft wouldn't call us. And Russell's like, no, you're not. You're lying. Microsoft doesn't call people. And he hung up on them. A couple hours later, the same person called us back. And did the same thing. And Russell listened to what they were saying, laughed at them, and hung up again.
Which thing is this?
The dude that said he was calling from Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
I think the next day, it was either the next day or maybe a day or two later, same guy calls back again and says the same stuff, and Russell waited for him to finish, and he goes, look, dude, he goes, I know enough about computers to know that Microsoft doesn't call people. And he started ripping everything apart that the guy was saying and proving that he wasn't who he said he was, and the guy hung up on him. So I'm like, you're obviously lying. I think Russell was saying, I don't know what kind of scheme you're running or something, but he's like, you're not getting anything out of me, so stop fucking calling me. And I think the guy was like getting mad that Russell was cursing on the phone or something, some stupid nonsense. And I'm like, you have no right to be pissed off if Russell's cursing when you called us 3 times now using the same line. I'm like, yeah, no. If you don't like it, then stop calling me. Like, I don't know if we always got these phone calls before or not, because, a lot of the time, like, I used to work overnights, so, and Russell did too for a while. And we turned the ringer off on the phone during the day so we could sleep. So I have no idea if we were getting these calls before and we're just now noticing them more because we don't have the ringer off. So, yeah, it's like, no. It's like, I am not giving you access to shit. It's like, try again. I think a couple people in our Discord, I was telling them about the story. And one of the guys was like, yeah, I told them I had an apple and they hung up on me. I was like, oh man. You know, they're scammers. They're trying to find any way to get access to your information and shit. We've already had a go around with somebody. We used a hotspot one day to order pizza. Actually, during the whole computer problem incident, we had just dropped it off at FedEx to send it back for the second time. And we used their Wi-Fi hotspot to order pizza through Domino's. And my debit card and I think it might have, no, wait, was it my, no, it was my bank of, it was like one credit card that had my name on it was saved, and I can't remember if we had another account. I think it was our bank account. It might have been my debit card number that was saved to the pizza ordering account as well. And I forget which one we used, but you know, it was like under 15 bucks because we had a coupon and whatnot. Okay, fine, whatever. A week or two later, we went to go do something, and before we left, we're like, well, let's check the bank account and see what's in there, see what bills have gone through and whatnot. And we had a charge that was declined because there wasn't that much money in there, and we're like, the fuck? What is this? Actually, it was weird. It started out the night before we went somewhere. The night before, 11:30 at night, we got a phone call. We're like, who the fuck's calling us at this time of night? It was very odd. Nobody calls us at that time of night. And Russell answered the phone, because I forget if it, I think the phone, the caller ID, I think it came up Brooklyn, New York or something, and we're like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is awfully late for a fucking telemarketer. Russell answered. And they go, yeah, you ordered a pizza? And Russell's like, no, man, you must have the wrong number. I didn't order any pizza. So, you know, it was like, okay. Whatever. You know, we went to bed and we're thinking, that's really odd. Why the fuck is somebody calling us 11:30 at night asking if we ordered pizza? Well, the next day we went to go somewhere, we checked the bank account. There's a charge from the pizza place that we had ordered from that was declined on our bank account for like $50. And we're like, what the fuck? So we thought, you know, the pizza place fucked up. So we called them. We either called them or we were looking at our recent orders or something. We're going back through our order history. We're like, how the fuck did they charge us for that much? And then we see $50 worth of food ordered on our account in Brooklyn, New York. And we're like, the hell is this? So we're trying to get it straightened out. We're like, we didn't order this. This is not us. Well, apparently the charge did go through, I think, on my credit card. And so we're like, son of a bitch. So then we had to call the credit card company. We're on phone with the fraud department. We got that sorted, got a new card. They shut down the old card number. Then we had to call the bank and we told them, yeah, you know, like this debit card number, like the one debit card's compromised. We don't know what the fuck's going on. So I had to get a new debit card. His was fine. And they didn't actually have the bank account number. They just had the debit card, the one debit card number. So we're like, okay. So I got a new debit card. We changed passwords. We stopped saving the pay information on there. We thought everything was good. And then Russell started having problems where his Gmail kept getting broken into. And just a bunch of other horseshit just kept happening. So now he has to have two-step verification on his freaking Gmail. And we're just like, what the fuck? Then they somehow, we had an Amazon gift card. His mom earned it through her job for some kind of rewards points or something. It's $50. Or no, it was $25, excuse me. We'd been dicking around with it for a while. We couldn't figure out what we wanted to order, so we were sitting on it. They somehow got his Amazon password. And we finally decided we were gonna get something for, I think, the guinea pigs, or we were gonna put it towards hay for the guinea pigs or some nonsense. And he went to go order it and use the gift card, and we realized they stole the gift card and used it too. Someone did. Like, Jesus Christ. So then we lost $25 in a gift card, and gift cards are like cash. There's nothing you can do about it. And so Russell had to shut down his Amazon account. It was all Russell's stuff that they touched. My stuff was fine. But we think it might all stem back to the same incident. We're not sure. So now he's got like two-step verification on everything that he can now. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But they haven't messed with me, so I've been checking stuff regularly, and we usually, you know, we're surprised that we didn't catch it sooner. But we'll never use a hotspot again. That's for damn sure. And we'll never have any payment information saved through any of those sites. But as it turned out, the place that we were ordering pizza from now went south, and it's shit. Like, we ordered from Domino's recently, because that's who the pizza order was from that had the fuck up on it, and they fucked up our order twice in 2 days, because our mother-in-law ordered something the day after we ordered something, and her order wasn't right either. We're like, yeah, we're not going back there. So then the mother-in-law the other day was like, well, let's get something from Pizza Hut. We're like, okay. We hadn't eaten from there in months, and we're like, alright. Well, I got a normal cheese pizza, okay? When it came out of the box, I was looking at it when she came home, and it looked weird. Like, I don't know if it was 'cause it was starting to get cold, because it was like a 20-minute ride from the house to go get it. But, like, the cheese looked extra burnt or something on the top, and I was like, okay. Well, then I started eating it, and the sauce was a lot spicier than I remembered, and I was like, okay, this tastes like how Domino's sauce used to taste. And then I get to the crust, past the spiciness of the sauce pizza, like the actual edge crust. And it's sweet. Like, dessert sweet. And I was like somebody dumped like 5 pounds of sugar into it. I was like, okay. This is weird. So now we're not eating from them anymore either. So it's like, yeah, alright then. You cannot find good pizza down here to save your life. Unless I am just more used to what I grew up with. I grew up in the northeast area of the country, and the pizza up there was so much better. So much better. Alright, well, somebody's been through here recently. Look, this camp is empty, yo. I really shouldn't be running through here since somebody just came through here. It's a recipe for disaster. But, yeah, it just seems like lately we just can't catch a break. Everything keeps being a pain in the ass. More so than it feels like it needs to be. When did you take them out last?
Not sure.
I can hear somebody being grumbly. I don't know why they're being grumbly. But it sounds like it's a potty being grumbly. Like, the one dog will just sit there and, like, kind of growl to get your attention that he has to pee. But then if you ask him to pee, like, if he has to go potty, he won't always act like he does. Unless he really has to go. But they hate going out in the rain, so I think they might actually have to pee. Like, the one dog, it's a miracle to even get him out on the porch when it's raining, because half the time he's like, nope, I'm going back inside. I'm like, nope, you're gonna go pee. Yeah, like, I'm from South Jersey. That's where I grew up. South New Jersey, and, Southern New Jersey, rather. And a whole bunch of Italian places up there. Although, oddly enough, the place where we were, like, the one place we got pizza from, I think was an Italian place, like, Italian family run. Another place that we got pizza from was actually, I believe they were Spanish. But damn, did they make some good pizza. I don't know what it was about it, but they made some good ass pizza. Somebody taught them well.
All their food was consistently good that we ever tried.
Yeah, the one place, it was pretty damn
consistent too, which was always a shock.
Yeah, because, you know, some places,
You know, we can't get fucking Domino's down here without it sometimes being shit.
yeah, and that's a chain, and you would think chain would be more consistent than, you know, an individually made food, like, every day. But, I mean, their subs were good, their sandwiches, their burgers were good, the pizza was good. Like, we had 2 places that we would frequent. One was just closer and a little bit cheaper than the other.
Well, I didn't count Vic's, I never really ate from them.
No, Joe and John's.
We ate there, like, twice.
It wasn't bad. Like, it was better before they split, because it was 2 people running it, and then they split the partnership, and somebody went and started their own restaurant, and the
See, we only ate there twice when I was there. You weren't happy either time, so.
yeah, that was after they split. I mean, before they split, it was good. After the split, the The second place was pretty good, but it was really expensive, so we didn't really eat there very much. And then I think they closed. Yeah, I mean, you know, because they handmade the sauce every day, they handmade the dough. I mean, everything was good. And the people that were down the street from us, we were like one of their best customers, because, you know, at that point in time, we were working overnight in the casino. We didn't feel like fucking cooking shit when we got home from work. And so, I mean, it involved us staying up till like 11, 12 in the afternoon till we could order from them. I think they opened at like 11. And, but it was worth staying up for because we didn't have to cook. And, you know, I could get a pizza from them and I'd have like leftover pizza for like 2 days, 3 days. I didn't care about reheating it. That was fine. It's one of the things I miss the most about up there is a couple of the food joints. Definitely miss a couple of those. 7,000. That fight was a little bit tougher. Definitely had to stay on top of the heels a little bit more. But, I mean, it was still pretty good. I was just saying, you know, it was still a good place to eat at, and they had a really good Chinese food place that we liked. I mean, you know, not every time we ordered would be the exact same, but it was decent enough. Better than anything we had down here.
I think that was more you than them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm extra picky about my food sometimes. But yeah, so I mean, there might be a decent Chinese food place down here that we just haven't found yet. But a couple of the Chinese food places down here are super expensive. So we haven't had the money to try them yet. I mean, the Chinese food place up in Jersey was a little more in our budget than the places down here are. The meals are a little bit more expensive for some reason. I don't know. I'm just glad I don't have to work in the casino anymore. Because that was soul crushing. Especially the job I did was terrible. I mean, there's some terrible jobs working in the casino. And it wasn't like I was in housekeeping. But, I had to deal with people with money all freaking day. I worked in the credit office.
Jersey people with money.
Yeah. And, we had... So, like, people would come in and apply for lines of credit with the casino to gamble on.
Which I never understood.
And, I had to process applications and do bank calls and stuff, and it's getting to the point where the banks wouldn't tell you next to nothing, even with the account holder on the phone. It was to the point where we had to like write down the questions with some of the banks that we needed asked, and we would have to sit there on mute with the customer while they asked them, because if the bank knew we were on the phone, they wouldn't talk to us. It was terrible. Or, you know, we could be on the phone and we told them we were there, but we weren't allowed to ask any questions. It had to be the account holder, and the account holder knew what we were doing. They were fine with it. You know, it was just, this is what we had to do. There was certain information we had to have. And New Jersey being a very red tape state, we had to have this information. Because some people didn't like carrying large amounts of money with them. And so they would not travel with that much money. And they would borrow it from the casino, and then it would go through their bank account. like, depending on the amounts of how much they borrowed would determine how long it would be before we deducted it from their bank account or sent the check to their bank to be paid. And, you know, there were people that, you know, had modest lines of like 500, you know, like whatever. And, but it would go up from like $500 to, what was the highest line we had? I want to say the highest line we had was it $1.2 million? $1 million? Can't remember. Might have been $1 million. And I hated dealing with those customers. Absolutely hated it. Some of the customers, not all of them. There were a select few that had credit lines 100,000 and up that were just absolute assholes. Hated dealing with them. They always had a trail of employees with them, making sure their every need was met. And, it wasn't like they were celebrities either. Some of them definitely were not celebrities. We had a couple celebrities come in. Trying to think of which ones there were. There was at least one. Might have been a couple of others whose names are just escaping me right now. I'm not going to say who they were. But we did have a couple. 'Cause then there was always confusion about what name we were supposed to put on their account, if it was supposed to be their real name or their celebrity name. Because a couple of them didn't go by the same name. They had their business name and then they had their regular name. But one particularly highline gentleman got one of my bosses fired after they got into an argument with them while they were drunk. That was fun to witness. That was just such a train wreck. Oh, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Guy came in drunk. 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. He wanted an extension on his credit line. He'd already been given a temporary extension. He wasn't supposed to get anything else, technically. And because they don't like to keep raising limits, because then they feel like that indicates a problem and we might not get paid. So, the dollar amount of his credit line was of such that it needed multiple people's approval to get any kind of anything done with it. And I'm talking like like my supervisor's boss, like the department's boss, and then like the entire casino's manager's boss. It was like 4 different people that had to be put into the computer system to approve this. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get that sort of stuff done is very difficult. Because our department boss, had just gone to bed. He had taken some sleeping pills because he was up all night and he couldn't sleep. And so my boss was trying to give him at least, an hour or 2 before she started calling, trying to wake him up. And the customer was drunk. He was drunk. she kept trying to tell him, you know, why don't you go get some coffee, get some breakfast, and, you know, give me some time to work on this. It's gonna take me a little while to get what I need to see if we can do anything. She was trying to stall him. He came back like 20 minutes later. She was still making phone calls. And he just like went pissy shit, and he wanted more money, and she's trying to tell him, well, you know, I gotta wait till I can get a hold of so-and-so, and try and get a hold of them now, and he didn't want to hear it. Then he started cursing her out, and she was just kind of sitting there. The casino floor manager was sitting there watching all of it. He wasn't doing anything to calm the customer down or to get him out of the office before the situation escalated, and he just kind of stood there dumbfounded like, you know, a mushroom on a tree. And next thing I know, the customer's like cussing out my boss's mother, and she lost it and started cussing him out back, and she broke the golden rule if we can't cuss out a customer, and then he had her fired, and then he turned around and declared bankruptcy. Excuse me. And didn't pay anybody. Or went on a payment plan or something for like half of what he owed. And he owed a substantial sum in town, I will say that. Excuse me. Because everybody was increasing his line over the course of the weekend or day in town. Because we weren't the only casino in town. And yeah, that was all sorts of uncomfortableness going on there. I was like, what is going on? I just want to go home, because I was trying to leave and I couldn't leave until my replacement came in, because we were dealing with him, and it was terrible, because I have to put approval codes in. So like the way it works is, at least in New Jersey, there was different levels of employee in our department. So, like, the basic employee, the clerks, which is what I was, we had a license that allowed us to handle sensitive information and work up the applications. Well, the license above us, the executives, they made the decisions. Now, you could have an in-between license where you could do either job. Actually, the executive's license, I think, would let you do either. But if you did the legwork on a file and worked it up and put a file together, and you had signed off on all of the paperwork on that file, or at least on that day's paperwork, you could not sign off on making a decision on it. So there was like a multi-layer process to try to keep anything shady from happening. Because, like, we had to sign off on every single report with our name, our license number, you know, the date that we were signing it, the time even. So it was very down to the minute so that they could track stuff. So, I mean, you know, I could not make decisions on the files. I could not say, yes, you know, we're going to approve you, no, we're not. I was just the one where I took your information, I put it in a folder, and I gave it to the executive, and they made the decision, and then I had to put that decision in the computer. So, I mean, we had all sorts of name codes. I mean, there were some people that we had to put in 5 different names for approvals and stuff, so it was terrible. It was very stressful, because we weren't in an office by ourselves. We were in with the main cashiers, and because we were right next to the high roller cash outs and stuff, and we were all thrown back in there together. So it wasn't like it was a quiet, calm office or anything. It was loud, it was obnoxious, it was noisy, because we were right on the casino floor. It was terrible. Trying to do calls with banks on the weekend. There was a bar right across from the cashiers, and you've got that noise, you got the overhead noise from the main floor speakers. It was just nothing but an absolute assault of noise. Alright, So that's Bloodthirsty Soul Snuffer. The Disc Priest. Finally got them leveled. And what level did we ding here? 30 something. 35. We're getting back up there on a priest. Slowly but surely. 1 day. 4 hours and 54 minutes and 5 seconds. Okay. And total kills. What are our total kills at here? Excuse me. 2,520. Excuse me. 23. Alright. So we're getting there. We are getting there, guys. So we've made some progress today. We've bumped up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've gotten 5 guys done today. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Now I thought I heard it starting to thunder a couple minutes ago. So let me just check here. No, but you know what? Holy Christ. I just checked the weather forecast. Now they're saying it's 64 right now, Fahrenheit. Now they're saying that it's gonna drop to like 33 tonight with a rain-snow mix likely. Holy shit. Alright, well, you know what? I think we're gonna call it there, and we'll pick up on the monk and the druid and the warlock, maybe the rogue. We'll try to get the other guys done on, because I don't have anybody else really ready to go. We'll try to get these other guys done on Saturday. Now don't forget, Thursday is going to be Iron Man Day, and we'll be back on Snoodle. We'll continue her journey on Thursday. Friday, Zortz and I, as of right now, should be doing teams. I don't see any reason for us not to be, unless one of us is ill at this point. And then Saturday, we'll pick back up with Bloodthirsty again. So, thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. It's been fun. Everybody take care, stay safe, and try to do one nice thing for somebody today, or tomorrow if your day's over. But try to do at least one nice thing. And I'll catch you all later. As always, you can get me on Twitter at NiseyBGN, or over in the WoW Challenges Discord, just Nisey without the BGN on it. I'm one of the chat mods over there. So, have a nice day. Thanks for hanging out for a couple of hours, and I'll catch you all later.